and the right hand. Not everything getting in there, but then the left hook, and he's just teeing off on Berto, who's in some trouble, and that was the left hook that sent him against the ropes and created a knockdown. And then the end of the fight, as we take a look from a couple of different angles, Porter cranking up those left hooks. Porter has a pretty good left hook. We talk about his overhand right, but his left hook is also a very good punch. Keep continuing to throw.
Shawn Porter has been in a situation where he's been trying to get big fights, and now it's been, let's go look at it. Let's go look at who he's fighting first. On TstreeT Controversy, this is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Also, visit our website, FightView360.com. 18-5-2. But here's one thing you'll see when you look at the record of Adrian Granados. 18-5-2 with 12 KOs. Adrien Broner. There's a lot of people who thought that he won this fight. I think Adrien Broner won barely. Split decision. Right? Brad Solomon, split decision. I forgot about this fight. I'm trying to figure out if this was the fight that he did lose, or he should have lost, but it was a split decision. But anyway, Felix Diaz, majority decision. Kermit Citron, split draw. Frankie Gomez, majority decision. You see what I'm saying, Leonard? You see what I'm saying? So this guy has been in so many controversial endings, all 7 of them, from the 5 losses to the 2 draws. Now, normally, you would think that since he hasn't been stopped, you know, he hasn't seen a fighter like Shawn Porter before. And that's true, because Shawn Porter, you know, that's the type of guy, Shawn Porter, that when you get into the ring with him, you don't know what he's going to be hitting you with. You don't know where that shit's going to be coming from, and it's going to keep coming. Now, Kell Brook was able to solve it by tying him up, you know, and, you know, like keeping him on the inside and using, because Kell Brook is a big dude, you know, using that against Shawn Porter. But does Adrian Granados have that? You know, Adrian Granados is in a situation where he needs a nice, solid win. You know, something that's a win, not a draw, not a split draw, not a split decision, none of that. But can he do it against Shawn Porter? Now, in my opinion, this is a very good card, and I'm wondering if a fight like this could have headlined Showtime on its own. So Wilder, you know, Wilder versus, and damn, I put up the wrong thing. You say Wilder Ortiz on the card. It's not Wilder Ortiz. It's now Wilder versus Stiverne too. But that's, if you look at it, it's a really, really solid card. And when you look at Adrian Granados, who had that fight with Adrien Broner, you know, and, you know, it was his last fight. And in fact, that was, February this year. He's been out the ring since, and now he's getting Shawn Porter. You know, he's on his way to, if he wins, well, the winner of this already is going to be the silver champion. And even though, you know, he can't get Thurman now, he is the WBC mandatory, meaning Shawn Porter. You know, so Keith Thurman's in a situation where he's saying that he wants to take one tune-up fight, or, you know, an easy-ish fight, you know, a comeback fight, even though it has to be somebody ranked in the top 15 of the WBC or WBA, or both, I forgot how it works, that he wants to have a 3-fight 2018. Now, the winner of this will likely get Keith Thurman, depending on who Keith Thurman chooses to fight, whether he chooses to go, I'm talking about after whoever he fights in late February, early March is when he says he's going to be back. Then he'll fight probably in the late summer or so, and then close the year out. But for that second fight, will he pick Danny Garcia? There's heavy talks that Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios is supposed to happen likely in January. You know, and Angel Garcia has even come out to say that there was a rematch going to happen. Or will he pick, you know, the winner of Shawn Porter, Adrian Granados, or wait, or make Shawn Porter have to wait a whole nother year? But what happens, you know, if Shawn Porter beats Adrian Granados, then where does he go? Now, that's fights out there for him, but the problem is, it seems as though a lot of fighters haven't been wanting to fight him. You know, I would love to see him versus Errol Spence. You know? Like, if Errol Spence can't kick Keith Thurman until early 2019, to 2019 or late 2018, you know, I would love to see that. But right now, Keith Thurman having 2 belts, as Keith Thurman said, nobody cares about Jeff Horn's belt, that WBO belt. A lot of people feel that's just waiting for Terrence Crawford to come take. So when you look at those other three belts, when you got Errol Spence, the IBF, Keith Thurman, the WBC, and the WBA, then you got Shawn Porter Granados fighting out there. You got Danny Garcia who's in the mix. You got Lamont Peterson who's taking on Shawn Porter. We don't know what Kell Brook's going to do. These guys are being forced in a situation where they have to fight each other, and then we don't know where Adrien Broner is going to stay. We got to hope that he's going to stay at 140, right? Then you got Terrence Crawford out there. He's going to be at 147, hoping to unify. So, the 147-pound, all these fights are important for so many different ways because there's so much at stake, especially with the crop of 147-pounders that we have right now that are being forced in a situation where no more politics can stop them from fighting each other. So anyway, I'm going to be there this weekend at Wilder versus Stiverne 2, and of course the undercard is going to be Porter versus Granados, and Sergey Lipinets versus Akihiro Kondo. I got to watch some fights on those guys, and it's probably going to be the next video I'm going to do this morning or tomorrow morning. But I'm going to be sure to make sure I talk to Shawn Porter about his path or what his path is going to be, and see, if I can actually get him to talk about his relationship with Al Heyman, because a lot of people have been wondering, it's like, yo, how is your relationship really with him on like a promotional standpoint, And he's in a situation because when you're a 147-pound fighter in this political landscape of boxing, when you're a 147-pound fighter, Al Heyman has the 147-pound fighters, So it's like he's in a situation where he's got to like wait his turn, but also he is considered one of the most feared at 147 pounds, A lot of these 147-pounders, including Danny Garcia, even though I'm from Philly, they don't want to see Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter will fuck you up. Excuse my language. Shawn Porter's a beast. And the thing is, he's respected like among the hardcores and the casuals. So he's one of them type of fighters that's like, how you don't like Shawn Porter? Yeah, people say he be headbutting and shit, but the headbutting is not intentional. You can tell it's not intentional. It's just that he be wild. But when you fight Shawn Porter, just like Keith Thurman knew, you got to be on your bike. And it's a shame that Danny Garcia turned down the fight, but I can understand. And I even actually talked to Keith Thurman about it. I asked him, and he said if he was him, he understands why Danny Garcia did it. Turned it down because Danny Garcia coming off of a loss. He wanted to get a win under his belt, and that's the way I looked at it. But still, it's like the opportunity was out there, and we didn't get to see the fight. But whatever the case may be, I just want to see, like where he goes from here if Keith Thurman doesn't choose to fight him in the summer. If Keith Thurman does choose to fight 3 fights in 2018. But it's hard to say, man, because talking to Keith Thurman, for about an hour, it was like me and like 5 other media members, like talking to Keith Thurman for about an hour, like in the hallway at the Barclays Center, and it just was like the way he's talking, is I can't say that it feels like or sounds like he's losing his passion. It just sounds like, like he's one of them type of people, kind of like Andre Ward, like, they got some money but don't spend a lot of money and they're happy with the little things that they have. Like me, I'm happy with the little things that I have. And he just don't seem like he has a passion for it anymore, Just my personal opinion, Just my personal opinion. Or just what I seem to get from it. But anyway, Porter versus Granados this weekend. Right now it's Tuesday. I don't even know what the day is. Oh, it's Halloween. It's the 31st. I actually crazy because the last 2 hours, I came out. I went all the way upstairs, was playing video games because I was waiting for all the trick-or-treaters and shit to go away. Ain't no candy up in here. So now I came down and said, time to do some videos. So go check out my website, man. We need help, especially in the New York area. I'm looking for as many people as possible, because there's a lot of fights all over the place. I've built my website myself now. Go check it out. The link is right down below in the description box, FightView360.com. We are active. We will be 100% operational next week. Definitely. I'm going through each page one by one and adding content, and I'm making sure we're giving you like the news that you need. But of course, this is just the beginning, So if you're interested in helping out in any way, shape, or form, and you want to put the work in, and you understand that if you're going to go to these events, that you're going to be around multi-millionaire boxers, managers, promoters, trainers, etc., and you know how to act, then email me. The information is right down below in the description box at info at FightView360.com. You got to leave your name, your location, and of course, you want to have like some flexible availability because these press events be in the daytimes. You know, a press conference would be something like noon on a Wednesday. You know, well, if it's fight week, it'd be like noon on a Thursday. You know, but an initial press conference could be any day of the week at like between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., you know, depending on if you're on the East or West Coast or not. But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. I have a podcast coming soon. More information on that will be posted down below. Please subscribe.